What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino here with y'all on this Sunday afternoon, going into the Sunday evening. And we're gonna go in on this one, man, because we're gonna answer this question. We're gonna make an attempt to answer this question, and I'm gonna be real interested to know y'all's opinions about answering this question that I have posed on this topic, on this title. But with the first thing we want to do, as usual, we say this every time, click the like button, that little thumbs up button that y'all see on your screen. Click that for your big brother before we get going. And we will go into this topic. Because the reason why I'm touching on this today is because we're starting to see a ramping up of examples of how they are showing our brothers and sisters on a daily basis who's really in power. They making strong power moves on us on a daily basis. And what happens is when they start making these power moves, when the controllers and the bloodsuckers of this world start making these power moves, it's done for a couple of reasons. And I'll get into a couple of the reasons as we go further along. But sometimes us regular folks, us folks down here on this level, looking up, seeing what's going on the mountaintop, we make the mistake of equating freedom with several things. Well, he got a lot of money. He's free. He's free to do whatever he wants to because that boy paid. That boy got bread. Well, he's famous. He's known all over the world. People know him. They love him. He's free. Oh man, this dude here, he can travel around the world. He can contact leaders from different nations if he wanted to. He's free. Oh, this man got big influence. He can just say something and everybody follows suit. He's inspirational. People see what he's done. They see his work and they just, wow, he's free. Those things do not translate into freedom. None of that stuff makes you free, and none of it means that you're free. Because the question we always have to raise in these situations when we see our brothers and sisters who are in those kind of positions, unfortunately, we always manage to find out at some point who's over them, meaning our black brothers and sisters, who's over them. And we always see a situation where it comes down to it, because soon as you mess around and say the wrong thing, soon as you retweet the wrong thing, repost the wrong thing, oppose the wrong people, then they will instantly show you how free that you are not. However free you thought you were, now we're going to show you how free you are not, how much of a slave you really are. And I made a song that was inspired by something I heard Minister Farrakhan say when he referred to $1 million slaves, which is the label that a lot of our black brothers and sisters actually carry, whether they want to accept it or not, whether they would agree to it or not. Because of course, nobody is going to say Well, not many people would say, well, yeah, I am a slave. I'm $1 million slave. They're not going to say that. Because, and part of the reason of that is because, again, sometimes they make the mistake. I talked about how we regular folks make the mistake of thinking that rich people are free. The rich people make the mistake of thinking that they're free too because they're rich. Man, I own 40 businesses all across the United States. I've employed thousands of people, man. I've done this in the community. I've done that. That's wonderful. That don't make you free if there's somebody over you that you have to answer to. And I don't mean answer to in terms of when you are wrong, when you make a mistake, because I think that accountability is something that we all have. That's something we all have to carry with us. So it doesn't matter if I owned the whole planet and it was worth $800 billion. If I was to do something wrong or was to wrong somebody or make a mistake that could affect people in a negative way, I have to take accountability to say I was wrong, even if that came at me in the form of somebody else checking me or calling me out behind it. So in that regard, we all have to answer to somebody, because as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, no individual can rise higher than the condition of his or her people, right? So no matter how big you may get, if you start tripping, man, then the people can call you out. The people have a right to call you out, and you have a responsibility and a duty to exhibit humility to say, my bad, y'all right, I was wrong. If you was wrong, if it's shown and proven that you was wrong. So it doesn't really matter the kind of influence that you have or the power that you think you have or whatever. Back to the point I'm on, there are individuals who provided you with the stuff you have. They gave you the millions of dollars. They gave you the use of their platforms to be seen and shown and speak the non-threatening words that will appease people who want to just see you entertain them. They gave you that platform. So anything you do with that money after that, okay, well, I'm gonna open up a restaurant. I'm gonna open up a detail shop. I'm gonna get me a record label. I'm gonna do that. That's lightweight. It ain't to knock none of that. Because we need businesses. We need black owned this. We need all this. We need that. But until all of that is tied on a string in a massive unified effort to where no one can come along and tear one of us down or strip away any of the things that we have, then you're not free. You are not free. So it don't matter if you won an Academy Award last year for Best Actress in a motion picture, and now you making $10-20 million a movie. That don't make you free, because they will show you. Will Smith, if I'm not mistaken, is in a $20 million a movie club, right? There's certain actors that get that $20 million a movie. So Will Smith smacks Chris Rock, whether we want to say it's real or was it staged or fake, I still don't know. But the point is, what did the Academy do? They came immediately out and say, man, you are banned from the Academy. You can no longer be a part of our little exclusive little club. And they showed him that he wasn't nothing to them because they're over him. And they made that move, that demonstration on him to show him that, in other words, they did that to him as a punishment. Now think about that. They did that as a punishment, meaning that in their mind, they have it in their mind that this is valuable to him. This means something to him. So as a punishment to you, we're going to ban you from our little club. And if we have the mindset as Black people, like, I really want to be a part of that club, man. I'm honored to be a part of the academy. I like sitting next to Harrison Ford and Meryl Streep wearing my little suit and all. I like to do that. Then we're going to look at it as a punishment. We're going to feel like we took a hit. Same with Kyrie. We're going to suspend you from our league, our NBA. This is our NBA. So we're going to suspend you until you come to your senses and decide that you're going to do what we've made every other Black person do who crossed us, and that's publicly apologize. We got to break you down. We got to break you. So until you do that, we're going to give you 5 games. If after them 5, you ain't got your mind right, it might be more. If it keeps getting bad, it gets to the point where you decide you ain't going to straighten up, then we might have to go head on and Kaepernick you. Might have to go on and hit you with the Kaepernick, with the cap slap. Right? So they're going to hit him with the cap slap at some point. Because what happens is, well, they may hit him with it. Because what happens is they have so much confidence. They have so much confidence that, and justifiable confidence at that. Let me say that part. They have justifiable confidence based on history that the things that they give us, we love them to death. Please, I'm sorry, don't take, please don't take it. Don't take it. Please don't take it. So they know how to get us. That's not freedom. That's not what freedom looks like. Freedom does not resemble a person speaking their mind and then later on having to come back and retract truth. Now, if you said some BS or whatever, you said something crazy, you were disrespectful and just, what's the word I'm looking for? Vile in nature and just, oh my God, come on, man. Okay, cool. But even on that point, because I ain't condoning none of that, but a free person ain't gonna answer to nobody even when they wrong. Even if they knew they was wrong, because of the fact that they are free and because of the fact that they do have control and ownership over themselves and all of the entities beneath them, under their umbrella, they won't even bow down after being wrong because of their arrogance and because of the fact that they know that the thought process will be, yeah, I did it. What you gonna do? What you gonna say? So you're not free. Having $1 billion as a black person don't make you free. Having sold 50 million records doesn't make you free. Having 25 million followers on social media don't make you free. Having a hit movie don't make you free. Being the all-time leading scorer and having 5, 10 championships, it don't make you free. Because all of those great accomplishments that come or that we gain, we lose sight of the fact that they all take place under the umbrella of somebody else. So if it's raining outside, somebody's holding the umbrella over your head. You know, they sharing the umbrella. They under there too, but they holding the umbrella under your head, over your head. And you're like, yeah, I'm under this umbrella too. I ain't getting wet. But then you accidentally, or you maybe not accidentally, you say something while the umbrella's over your head and that they don't like. What they might do. What might they do? I said that backwards. What if they decide to, what? Oh man, they move the umbrella. They still under it because it's theirs. And now the rain is coming down on your head. It's pouring down on your head. You're getting soaked out there. The rain represents all of the backlash that comes when you offend the bloodsuckers. The rain represents all of the chatter, all of the negative press and comments that follow behind you speaking your mind and standing on something that you believe in. So in that vein, you're not free. Do we own or control any mass media? Because the greatest way, the biggest way that information and misinformation is distributed, it reaches the eyes and ears of us, is through mass media. So the people who own mass media, they have the ability to spin whatever they want to spin, whatever way they want to spin it, right? So don't be foolish enough to think that knowing that this man or this woman is telling the truth. But they like, nah, we're not going to let that get out. We're going to spin this story and go after that person based on what they said that we don't like. And because we are free, we own every media outlet, every media corporation. It belongs to us, right? That's them, it belongs to them. So we can we can turn you into anybody that they want to turn you into. Think about that. If we want to make you crazy in the eyes of the people, we can make you crazy. If we want to make you a liar, we can make you a liar. If we want to criminalize you, we can criminalize you. See? That's not freedom. If you can't stop that, or if you can't balance it by being able to combat it with your own mass media outlets. Where we can say, well, oh yeah, well, y'all free to say what y'all want to say, but we got a machine over here that belongs to us that we can combat that. Because you can only go in so far under the umbrella. It's only so far you can go in under that umbrella. Because they watch. They sit on the hill and they watch. They watch their slaves. They oversee their slaves, and they just, how the slaves doing today? I've been slow. They've been pretty good today. Yeah, they still rapping and dunking and singing and dancing. Yeah, they good today. Hold on, wait a minute. There's some activity down there. Hold on, wait a minute. One of them has been tweeting a little recklessly lately. Let me get back to you. I got to handle this real quick. As soon as they see that rebellious slaves starting to rise up a little bit, they got to go get him. See, now, there was a time that the consequence would be a physical punishment, a physical consequence with the rebellious slave. This day and age, we see a little physical here and there. But this day and age, they whip you in a different way. They strip you to whip you. And again, like I said, stripping you don't just mean taking away your endorsements and kicking you out of the academies and kicking you out the league and all that. Yeah, that's what they do. But stripping you also on a bigger level is stripping you of your dignity, which in my opinion, that's the real goal anyway. The real goal is to break you down mentally, to break you down and take your dignity away. So how do you know that that's the real goal? What makes you say that, K? What makes you say that, K? I say that because they are always so adamant. They are obsessed with making black celebrities apologize publicly. They got to put you up before the world. They got to pick you up, set you up on the podium before the world, and like, okay, do it. And then it's them. This is them. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. See, he was a hard one. He was rebellious. He came in. He was rough in the press. He said he was going to stand on it, and that. Watch, broke him down too. That's the thrill that they get. That's the thrill that they get right there, man. That's how they get their rocks off right there. By breaking you down. See, they not really tripping on taking away your endorsements. That's theirs anyway. That's their stuff anyway. And they know they'll get another one of you to come up. There'll be another athlete that signs with Nike. There'll be another athlete that comes in the league and can fill the arena up with fans. They know that. They ain't worried about that. They get off to seeing that brother stand up in that press conference and go with that glassy look in their eyes, man. When you see a defeated man, bro, it's a feeling that shoots through my heart, man. Just like it's crushing, bro. it hurts. It hurts because you can see the defeatedness in their eyes. You can see that they really don't want to be up there doing that, and that they really don't even feel like they should be doing it. They are in a mindset of, I got to do this because if I don't, they're going to take my stuff and they're going to keep on just bombarding me with this criticism and turning my own people again. So you see that glassy, dead look in their eyes, man. That's painful. That's painful. And that's not freedom. So you do it, you stand up there and you apologize and you lose your dignity, and yet you still go home to the millions and millions of dollars that you still have in your bank account, still got a big mansion, a big house, still got a bunch of cars, still got all that. But if you have any type of like just dignity and moral standard, right? That stuff don't even matter in that moment. That stuff doesn't even serve as a medicine in that moment, because you know in that moment you just gave away a piece of your soul, and you let a lot of people down. Now, am I saying all that, what I've just said, am I saying that as a condemnation to any of our brothers and sisters who may have had to been forced to do that? No, that's not what I mean. I don't want y'all to think that I'm he bashing or smacking them guys that got up there in the pot. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just stating what it is and the process and what it does and how it's an example how no matter what you have and what they give you, if they can turn on you at any minute and make you bow down to something that's not in your heart to bow down to, then you're not free. So what does freedom really look like? What does it look like? I just told you what we thought it looks like, but it's really not. Y'all hit the like button, man. If you're just getting in here, click that like for your brother. If you're just getting in here. I told you, free people don't bow down and apologize to nobody, even if they wrong. Just not built like that. How many times have you seen leaders and rulers of certain nations that may have been doing wrong, making dirty moves, and they still make the dirty moves, even if the whole world is looking at them like, oh man, that ain't cool. Because they are a free sovereign nation that I do what I want to do. America, United States of America is notorious for this. They'll carry out some of the most heinous acts against other nations within the borders of their own nation, against their own citizens and so-called citizens, and won't apologize or answer to none of it. Free men and women don't ask for permission. Peaceful penguin. That's right. So your position, the position that we have, it's an illusion. That ain't your seat. It's not your seat. Somebody tell you, hey man, I gotta use the restroom real quick, man. Sit in my seat until I get back. When they come back, you can't say, man, that's my seat. That's their seat. Coming back to claim what's theirs. See? You have an unapologetic voice when you're free. And that freedom represents ownership. That freedom is the unified connection, the collective unit. Because if you had the backing, and I made a video, I got a video coming about this, but if Kyrie had the backing of the other stars in the NBA, them Jews will back up off of him because they would say, following suit. Okay, LeBron, Steph Curry, KD, Giannis, who else? They all coming out now. And this is our money. But what did they do? They left that man hanging out to dry. They left him hanging out to dry. By himself. Everybody's scared to say something because, like I said the other day, they always bring one slave out in front of all the other slaves and publicly whip him and humiliate him in front of all the other slaves to show the other slaves, we can do this to you too. That ain't being free. Free is when you reach a point where no matter what it is you want to do, you don't have to go through an enemy to get it done. You just get it done with the like-minded individuals that are in your circle, in your network, and it ain't no questions that have to be answered outside of your network. There's no phone call that I have to hurry up and, hello? Yes, sir. Oh, we can't do that? Hold up, y'all. Stop production. Yeah, all right. I didn't know that. Okay. All right. Bye, boss. Ain't no phone calls that can come in to you like that. Because you own the land. You own the resources. You own the materials. You control the movement of it all. You distribute it. You present it through your outlets. If I want to post about a book or a documentary that I like, that I agreed with, right? I can do that without having to worry about, which I commend Kyrie because he posted that he probably knew. Kyrie got 22 million followers on social media. He probably knew that, okay, well, if they see this, they might have a problem with it. And he put it up there anyway. And it's interesting because I read a tweet a few minutes ago, right before I came on here. I read a tweet a few minutes ago where there was a white guy. See if I can remember his name. I don't have it. But he went and looked at the documentary that Kyrie posted on his social media. And according to him, and whatever research he may have done, he wrote with um, pretty strong confidence. He said there was nothing that he saw in the documentary that was anti-Semitic, or that, to paraphrase, that should have been taken as extreme as they're taking it. He went on further to say what we all know, is that they setting Kyrie up. This is a power move. This is a bigger move that they putting on Kyrie. They're making an example of him. They setting him up. So now I gotta find that documentary. I gotta go watch it. And I'm gonna tell you, boy, I'm going in anyway. But if I watch that documentary and I find for myself that is 100% true, man, I'm really going in. I'm going in like I'm going in like a child when the street light come on. I'm going in. See? Freedom is fearing only God. See, we bow down to these cats because we fear them. And even if, like what my dad taught me a real interesting twist on the word fear a long time ago. And so, because somebody will say, well, man, I ain't scared of him. I ain't scared. I don't fear him. So even if it's not fear, my dad say it ain't always about somebody fearing somebody. Sometimes you may fear what they can do. So you might not be scared of them, but you back down and you bow down because you think about what they can do. That's still a fear, still a form of fear. If you work on a job and the owner of the company, his son works there too, and his son is a a-hole because he's the CEO's son, so he's just an a-hole. He treats everybody like crap. He's some little punkish little dude, right? In your mind, you ain't scared of him. He poses little threats and says, you ain't scared of him. You wish you could have 5 minutes alone with him. But you take it because you need your job. And you worry about what he can do in terms of telling his daddy. Let my daddy know I don't like it. See? We should only be found fearing God, man. You fear the Creator, because the Creator is the one who gave them what they have that they're giving you. He allowed them to be in power, to be in a position to rule for a certain amount of time, right? So when he decides to break their power, which he's already doing, then you want to be on the right side of that. But the problem is, too many of us, we worship their power. We don't worship the power of God. We don't worship the Most High's power. We worship their power that they got from the God. Because in our twisted minds, that power represents a more immediate gratification. They can write me $1 million check right now. They can put me on TV right now. See, it's more of an immediate gratification. So we become delusional as to who really has the power. But God already breaking their power. The economy ain't worth nothing. I saw somebody put in the comments a few seconds ago, I glanced over there and I saw somebody put the bankers. Yeah, the bankers control this whole monetary system. They have that freedom right now. But it's based on currency that has very little to no value. So the power is being broken. The economy is insane. Debt, the national debt, dollar not worth a penny. But we still worship it because we caught in the illusion of that instant gratification, that instant satisfaction that comes from that. See? So in order to be on the right side of this thing when it all goes to hell, it would be wise for you to not be found worshiping them in their power. It would be wise to not be that one that's on TV throwing boulders at Kyrie, throwing boulders at Kaepernick, throwing boulders at anybody who's ever stood up, throwing boulders at Farrakhan. Because Farrakhan is the seed. Just gonna call it like it is. He's the seed of this thought process that's starting to sprout up among a lot of young black people, rappers and athletes, and he's the seed of this in this modern time. So you want to find yourself on the right side of history, then don't be like those sports analysts. I made a video, the Sick'em dogs. You don't want to be the Sick'em dog, one of the Sick'em dogs who are running out to attack and bite your own people based on your foolishness, based on your love for their money. It's amazing how a sellout will swear up and down that they're not a sellout. That must be one of the main criteria for being a sellout. Well, the first thing you have to know as a sellout is to deny that you're a sellout under all circumstances. You can't throw a little, you can, but you can't fool people by sprinkling in a little truth every now and then, by standing up a little bit every now and then when it's easy to stand up. And that's how they get a lot of y'all, because they'll stand up on something that's pretty blatant. Okay, that's pretty straight up the middle. Okay, but there are levels to these devils. So when it gets to the point where you could say, okay, well, you know what? This black man was killed. He was unarmed and he was shot by a white police officer and nothing happened. Okay, they'll have a little uproar behind that. And some of them don't even have it behind that. They'll still side with the police department. But a few of them will say, okay, well, no, that's wrong. Okay. But it's levels to these devils. They'll only stop at a certain, I ain't going no higher than this. I'll talk bold. But then, okay, well, let's talk about the bloodsuckers now. Let's talk about the bloodsuckers. No, I'm going to shut up on that. Those who accuse every little criticism of being anti-Semitic. Ooh, anti-Semitic? Ding, 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 ding. That's that word that runs all the black folks off the block. You know, you on the block. Not that I ever been on the block. Let me make that clear. But I kind of know what goes on the block. If somebody say, hey man, the police coming. You hear police, 5-0, 12, them laws, them people. You hear any of them terms while you out there, the block gonna scatter. Everybody's gone. It's the same thing with that word anti-Semitic. That is the word that is the death blow to black people, black celebrities, black entertainers, athletes, rappers, whatever. That is the word that all you got to do is just dangle it. Just kind of dangle it around black people when they start getting a little too bold. Just dangle it. Just gonna dangle it a little bit. That's all. Just gonna dangle it. And it's gonna run them off the block. Do you think that what you said was anti-Semitic? Oh, no. Wait a minute. I didn't mean that at all. Free people don't talk like that. Free people don't respond like that. So freedom, it ain't always about a physical just possession. Sometimes it's about the freedom of your own words. You don't even have control over your own word. Your own thoughts are in bondage. Your thoughts are in bondage. How is my thoughts in bondage? Your thoughts are in bondage if you are a person who you know that what you studied and checked out and seen and vetted and compared and you done did all that and you know it's the truth. And you sitting up there on a platform and you see somebody spouting out them same lies. And you sitting there like this. Now, what's going on in your head is, man, he lying. That ain't true. That's not true. Blah, blah, blah. You know what you can, the response instantly steps to the forefront of your, the response do this. When they hear that lie, when your mind hears that lie, the response instantly go, watch out, and come right to the front, like, let's go. It's like right at your mouth, right at the edge of your mouth, waiting for your mouth to open. Your mind knowing, okay, you know what, this mouth finna open in a minute, I'm coming out. And your mouth is like, go back. So your thoughts are in bondage. You put your own thoughts in slavery. You enslave your own thoughts because they have struck that fear in you to where even when you know the truth, you ain't gonna stand on it. And some people ain't even got that much to lose. You still won't stand on it. See? Freedom is, oh, I'm going to speak these words regardless. Because freedom represents not just yourself, not just myself. Freedom represents those people out in that audience, those young, impressionable children and minds that's out there that's seeking the truth, that don't know, that don't have no clue. They just out there like, I don't know who's right or wrong. See, a lot of us are just deceived simply because we don't know. So when you hear the quote from the Bible that says, "My people perish from a lack of knowledge," sometimes we just ignorant. We just don't know. So we sitting there like, okay, yeah, Kyrie was wrong, man. He shouldn't have said that about them Jews, man. Them people been through enough, man. What about your people? Who been through more than your people? Why is their struggle and their plight the greatest struggle and plight of all time? That's like no one has been done worse than us. You want me to tell you why? It's because they have swindled themselves into a position of power and freedom to where their control over the ability to spin the narrative has imposed itself. So now we believe it. Oh man, he did them people wrong, man. Go look up Black history. Nobody been done wrong as wrong. Look, it ain't disrespecting nobody's struggle. All people have been through it. Everybody has been through some hell living on this planet. But sometimes the grocery list is that long. Sometimes the grocery list is that long and only need a few items. And other times the grocery list is way long, longer than my arm. So we ain't knocking what you've been through. We just saying you ain't been through more than us. Ain't no bragging rights about it. It's just the reality. That's all it is. Ain't knocking nobody else. So don't try to make your plight be not only more important than everybody, but it's pretty much the only plight that matters. So your freedom has been snatched on all levels. They'll show you that you're not free. The biggest to the smallest. The homeless man is freer than a lot of these high class Black folks that you see on TV and hear on the radio all the time. It's a homeless person that's more free, if y'all understand that. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me flash back. I'm not going to be on here much longer. Let me see what y'all are talking about, man. Farrakhan's a prophet, and I think you better listen to. When the first time I heard the minister's name, Armageddon, and the minister, although Chuck meant well in that line, the minister ain't a prophet. But I'll say out my own mouth, he the closest thing we got walking around right now. In the beast they trust, Broderick said, the wolves under wolves' clothing. It's a wolf under wolf's clothing. So he's a wolf. We catch the wolf. Man, let me find out who this wolf really is. Like on Scooby-Doo. And you snatch the wolf mask off, he's still a wolf. Like, man. That boy, the double wolf. Is that O01Q2? He says, I'm more on the side of Kyrie. Kaepernick seems more like an opportunist. Why do you say that? I'm not arguing with your opinion if that's your opinion. I'm just saying, what makes you think, what do you see in Colin Kaepernick that makes you think he's an opportunist? He already lost all of his endorsements and his spot in the league. He'll never, they whiteballed him years ago. What did Kaepernick do? I'm just asking. That makes you say he's an opportunist. He took one of the biggest hits in history. If you look at, and I know people say, well, oh man, he got this and he came back and he got this documentary and this and that. Nah, that man wanted to play football. And just to go back into that history, at the time when he decided to kneel, he wasn't even playing. He was in the cut. He wasn't the starter at that time. He was in the cut, minding his business. Somebody randomly spotted him and asked him about that. He didn't use that as no opportunity to, let me be seen. He wasn't out front kneeling. He was in the cut. And when you try to exercise your freedom, I'm going to do what a free man do, and that's speak my mind. They'll show you that you're not free. But wait a minute. I thought that the Constitution said that you were allowed freedom of speech according to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. No, they're allowed it. And a lot of times they ain't allowed it because they'll shut some of their own down here and there, but don't nobody get smacked down like us. Just trying to find that magic comment that's going to spark me. I'm looking for that magic comment. Meanwhile, if you haven't hit the like button, do that for your big brother. We stand on subject, so y'all come popping in with something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm going to either not acknowledge it, scroll right past it, or if you keep on going, I'll erase it. Lindsay, what's your definition of anti-Semitic, Brother K? To answer that question, you got to know the definition of Semitic. And we laid that out the other night. You can go to their dictionary. You can go to Webster's dictionary and pull up the word Semitic, and it will say of or relating to individuals of Afro-Asiatic descent and language. Those languages, again, Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, regions that those languages were spoken in, black regions, Africa. So the Semitic people are black people. In its origin are black people. That's why, and I'm repeating stuff I said the other night, but some of y'all might not have been on it. That's why Kyrie said in the interview, he said, when they asked him, was he anti-Semitic, or he said, I can't be anti-Semitic because I know where I come from. And he didn't want to go deep into it, but that's what he meant. He wanted to say, I can't be anti-me. That's what he wanted to say. And he probably wanted to say, y'all are the ones who are anti-Semitic because y'all are coming after me and brothers and sisters like me who tell the truth about you not being Semitic. Hope I answered your questions, sis. Brother Chris said, when are you going to make it to where we can call in and bring more light to these topics? Yeah, I'm working on that. When I start this podcast, which we've already started, we filming episodes now. We'll have certain episodes where we go live like this, and we'll set up a number where people can call in on the times we go live on the actual podcast. So that's coming real soon, Brother Chris. Dollar bill. See? L Dub said it was a terribly made documentary, longest 3 hours ever. But, and I can respect if a piece of work is not crafted together just beautifully, but I still have to ask what levels of truth and falsehood. What was the truth falsehood ratio, if any? Was it true? Were they speaking truths in it? I'll suffer through 3 hours if it's not put together well or if it's all over the place. If the information is factual, though, got to give it up. Got to give it up. And to speak on the Shaq thing real quick, because just like everybody else, I saw where they said that, first of all, I saw in real time where Shaq condemned Kyrie Irving for the promotion of the documentary, right? Hebrews to Negroes. Shaq even went so far as to call the man an idiot. Then it comes out later on that Shaq owned a movie theater in New Jersey that actually had a showing of the same documentary. Now, whether he knew that or not, it's an example of how before we talk, me, Shaq, you, the dude across the street, your next door neighbor, your cousin's uncle's niece, before we talk, we got to make sure that we know what we're talking about to the best of our ability, because we all have misspoke and then had to get fixed later. And if you misspeak and have to get corrected, that is a test on you to see what kind of heart you got, what kind of humility, what kind of spirit you got. So when you lash out on somebody, you better make sure at the very least that you are not in the same boat as that person that you smacked. That's a problem. That's a problem. And it was weird because Ernie, Ernie Johnson, who's the moderator of the show that Shaq and Kenny Smith and Barkley and all them are on. If you go back and watch that clip, he almost strategically asked that question to Shaq. The way he asked it, I'm not saying he knew something already, but just the way he asked it almost was like it was just set up for that. Because he said, would you post something irresponsibly like that? Would you put some? He like emphasized, like, I don't know if he knew or not, but it served as a perfect lesson, because it did come out. Okay, well, y'all, wait a minute. Because in comparison, it would be viewed far more harmful for me to show you the actual evil documentary than it would be for me to post a picture of it. That's just my opinion. And that's a reason, that's a perfect reason and example why we cannot get in a habit of being so quick to beat our brothers and sisters up. We so ready. So now we got to see what happens with that, because I don't like to get up. I don't like the division between us. So only when I just get really mad, and I still shouldn't do that then. When I get really mad, when somebody really sell us out, when a black person really sell us out, that's when you'll hear me say names. But in reality, we should handle that differently. It just bothers you when it's like, when you see one of them brothers blatantly attacking a brother that you know that's a good brother, and you know he's not, that attack is not warranted. Because, brother, whether you Shaq, whether you Barkley, whether you whoever it is, you don't know when your attack is coming, man. They don't view you any higher than they view Kyrie Irving. That's what we have to understand before we attack. Well, they like me. I've never gave them any problems. Hey, man, I treat all people with respect and love. That don't mean nothing to them. Those are the type of people, if that's really how your character is, them the people the devil love the most, because they can really manipulate you. They can really puppet you around. They love to deal with Negroes like that, because the other ones, you can't break them. And we can't break this Negro here. Let's go concentrate on this one. So you got to be careful, man. You can't be so quick to run off at the mouth, man. I made a video about that last week in relation to other things that we see happen, and we instantly want to type of our opinion on it, or like we was there. See? Because when you come out against somebody, attacking somebody, then two days later, now you in the grease. See? Can't do that. Is that Peppy J? Appreciate the love and the donation, Jay. Says, what up, fam? I had an inquiry. May I have your email address to discuss the matter with you? If not, can I give you mine? Depends on what the inquiry is, Jay. See, I get a lot of people, a lot of times, you know, they like, man, I have something important to talk to you about. And I ain't saying you, Jay, at all. I don't know. I can only talk to you about this. And unfortunately, some people are not all the way there. They just call it for what it is. And then they just saying things is like, so I like to at least know the category. My email address is, you know, it ain't no secret. Y'all subscribe to my podcast channel as well. Underground Dialogue Podcast. Y'all be sure to subscribe, man. All praise is due to Allah. Appreciate the love, Marie. I had good teachers. Because I'm ignorant. So you got to learn how to respond to things void of extreme emotion. See, we see things, hear things, in an emotional response automatically ignites. You got to sit back. Even if your anger is there, you have to have your anger controlled. It's the difference between a campfire and a forest fire. It's still a fire in the woods, but a campfire is controlled. It's crafted. Okay, we got to make sure you can monitor it. Let's build it a little bigger. Let's break it down a little bit. Let's add a few more sticks to it. A campfire is controlled. Once it turns into a forest fire, it's out of control. Ain't nothing we can do. It's all hell and broke loose now. Animals finna die. Everything is messed up. So when you see something that rubs you the wrong way, you can have a little campfire, but it got to be under control. Don't lose it. It's the black race. Sorry, y'all. Look, let me give y'all a thing real quick. If my connection stalls, hang around. Don't leave. I'm just giving y'all that because it stalled for a second. If it just wait it out. Wait it out. Hit that like button. Give me to 100 likes. Let me read Michael's comment. He says, K-Rino saying nobody suffers and endures as much as the black race is untrue. He disregards the native tribes from this land currently known as the United States. Not at all. I don't disregard the suffering of our Native American brothers and sisters. But, and also to understand what part of my belief is. See, what you got to understand. The Native Americans are a part of the black nation. They are part of the black nation. So absolutely, and there's been many times where I've represented strong on behalf of their struggle and stood on the behalf, because I know what the Europeans did to them. Without a doubt, stole all their land. Our Latino brothers and sisters stole all their land. I live on stolen land. I live in Tejas, so I know. But if you paid attention to what I said you got some grocery lists that are this long, and you have other grocery lists that are this long. Nobody has endured 400 years of slavery and servitude, with the majority of that being physical servitude, slavery, and then the rest of it being Jim Crow laws and oppression. no reparations, no compensation. We have none of that. No opportunities given for all of the labor that was put down and all of the work that was put out for free for centuries and centuries and centuries. The intentional racism that's still carried out against black people right now, the murder, the suffering, the rape, the pillage, the being stripped of an entire culture where we don't know our language. We over here not knowing what tribe of Africa what country in the continent that we even come from, what country within the continent that we come from. We don't know that. We have none of that. Language, original religion, gone. No connection to who we are. We have none of that. No people that's been subjected to that. That's just the facts. And that's just small little tidbits of it. So it's not a competition. I'm not saying that, oh, yeah, my struggle better than yours, fool. Nah. And it was laid out to compare to what members of the elitist Jewish community portray as their struggles being the ultimate. Because again, that was my purpose of bringing that up, Mike. Because we can discuss the Holocaust. We can discuss it. Cool. That's no problem. But we're not going to act like black people didn't lose 100 million in the Middle Passages, crossing the Atlantic, and all of the atrocities that were carried. We're not going to belittle our struggle that was monumental and that is still monumental. Especially when part of that struggle is dealing with, and we're still on the subject of freedom, because they had the freedom to do what I'm getting ready to accuse them of doing. Especially when the struggle is dealing with the fact, not the opinion, not the speculation, not the guess, the fact that those very individuals stole our birthright. Can I get a witness? So all of these things, from the physical to the mental, they're part of that grocery list. So don't take it personal. Understand context. And I'm speaking in the context, in a grand scheme. Do we not know how detrimental it is for you to steal the identity of somebody? Imagine somebody that catches amnesia, but an evil person knows exactly who they are. The person with amnesia just doesn't know who they were and who they are. And the evil person decides that, oh, she don't know who she is. So I'm going to tell her that she's my wife. Now, before she had amnesia, she hated you. She ain't like you. But I'm going to tell her she's my wife because I always wanted her. And now you got her playing the role of your wife because she don't know no better. But the day she comes to herself and wakes up and her memory's back and she in the bed and she looking, see you laying there, she gonna start hollering and screaming. So it's far more dangerous and detrimental to a people to strip them of their identity. And not only were we stripped of our identity, they didn't just take the identity and then just throw it. They took the identity and applied it to themselves. So now that people that was spoken of in Genesis that would be in bondage for 400 years, they say that's them. No, it ain't. It's Sunday, y'all. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Come on, man. I'm just stating facts. See, the campfire, forest fire. Can't get in your emotions because what something that somebody may say is, do you know how many times y'all had a little dip? Keep clicking like, y'all, so this video can reach as many people as it can. But it's been a bunch of times, man, where I have seen people on TV, black people on TV, just selling out, just caping, putting that cape on for the enemy, just selling out left and right, man. You know how many times I've seen that? And you wish you had the power to just jump through the TV and start choking somebody. But in order for me to be effective, when I have a conversation after that about that to people who may be still seeking and trying to learn, I can't be in my feelings. I can't be flipping out and hollering and screaming and arguing with other people. When I'm at work arguing at the basketball court, hollering and screaming and about to fight, because that gets nothing accomplished. I have to deal with my emotions when I get aggravated behind seeing how they trying to destroy this man and how they tried to do it many other times before. Some of them same sellouts who are condemning Kyrie Irving, who condemned Colin Kaepernick, some of them same cats were swapping down that they love Muhammad Ali. Ask them about Muhammad Ali. Oh, Ali, boy, he's a hero. He's my hero. But Ali is your hero. But if Ali was doing the same thing that he was doing in the 60s and he was doing it in 2022, those same Negroes would be condemning Muhammad Ali. Can I get a witness? The same ones who say Ali is their hero now, if in 2022 there was a war and Ali came out and was speaking out against the war, and he was the heavyweight champion of the world, and he was saying, them Viet Cong ain't never called me no nigger, and all this, the stuff he said back then, and he's standing strong, firm against the government of the United States, speaking on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I stand for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, I'm ready to die, even if I got to face machine gun fire. Them same Negroes will be bombing on Ali. Y'all love him now. Y'all don't really love him now. Oh, I love Ali. I love Malcolm X. Boy, what Malcolm, boy. Whoo, I love Malcolm. You love Malcolm? What was Malcolm on back then? You do know that Malcolm was labeled as one of the biggest anti-Semites during his day. You do know that, don't you? They called Malcolm an anti-Semite back in his day. You can pull up speeches of Malcolm where he's going in. Oh, I love Malcolm. It's how backwards some of y'all be. You wouldn't love Malcolm if he was walking today. You wouldn't love Malcolm if he was walking and talking the same way as he did back then. You know why? Because my contention is that if Malcolm was walking today, standing today on 2 feet vertical today, some of them same cats who claiming they love him so much, they would be the very ones that he would be smoking and going in on. Malcolm would be smoking these clowns. But it's easy to claim that after the fact. It's easy to claim that after the fact. Malcolm was killing them cats back in the days, debating blacks and whites. He was debating the evil white folks that was trying to push that narrative and lie and continue to oppress. And he was debating sellout Negroes that were put in place to try to combat the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that he was defending nationwide and worldwide. And that version of Malcolm would have been smacking these sellouts today who claim they love him. And ironically, Malcolm and Ali was taught by the same man. The same man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm wouldn't have an X if it wasn't for Elijah Muhammad. Muhammad Ali would not have that name if it was not given to him by Elijah Muhammad. He's Muhammad Ali because he was named that by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He spoke the way he spoke. Him and Malcolm spoke the way they spoke because they were taught what came out of their mouth did not come from them. And I ain't disrespecting, I'm speaking facts again. Campfire, forest fire, don't give me emotions. They spoke his words. Some of y'all don't like him, but y'all like Malcolm, y'all like Ali. I love Malcolm and Ali too. But golly, we can't condemn the tree. Said it before. Man, these apples taste good. I hate apple trees though. You don't get the apples if it wasn't for the apple tree. You don't get the oranges if it ain't for the orange tree. So, the same way that the righteous stances that a lot of our brothers and sisters took, I saw somebody put Huey Newton. See, they ain't gonna really, see, they couldn't really water down the Panthers. They didn't water down the Panthers. Just like they couldn't water down the Nation of Islam. They could take members that may leave at some point and they can get to them. They can poison them after the fact. But them brothers was taught by a free man. See, we talk about freedom. What do freedom look like? Go look at Minister Farrakhan. Because the government don't control him. Don't believe them liars that say that. He ain't bought and sold by nobody. He's supported by his people. That's what a free man look like. A free man can stand up in front of the world and call them out and say, do what y'all got to do. That's what a free man look like to me. Never apologized. And ain't nobody been hard on them more than the minister. Hard on them with truth. Not making nothing up. Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, salute. Ain't nobody been harder on them than the minister. But he's the one that they can't break. They can't break him. Can't break him. They tried multiple times. See, they tried. Imagine if you just had this, punch. If you had a punch, bro, that anytime somebody did something you didn't like, matter of fact, I don't even call it a punch. If you had a little thump you could do on somebody do something you don't like, you can just walk up to them and just thump them, and they'll just fall off, right? And every time somebody get on your bad side, you thump them and they just collapse. But then one day, this one man come along and he blasting you, and you say, "Don't worry about it. Watch this." And you walk up and you hit him with that thump, and he's still like this. Oh, wait a minute, I must have missed him. Thump him again. He's like, "What? What?" See, that thump don't work on him. So when you see a man like that, that's really free, go and come and go as he please, say what he want to say, and got the facts to back it up. When you see that man, and then when you see in his trial, when they turn the fire up, if you've never seen it before, see, we used to it now with him. But if you never seen it, it's like, okay, what he gonna do? Here they come. Here they come. What he gonna do? Then he just hit him with a flurry, a combo flurry, and you like, ooh, because you ain't never seen nobody. See, when Craig knocked out Debo, it was amazing in the neighborhood because nobody even, forget knocking Debo out, nobody even stood up to Debo before. Debo say, I want that chain. Debo say, what you got on my 40? You just start reaching in your pocket and giving him money so he can get his drink. But when you see somebody stand up to Debo, the first thing everybody gonna do who's scared of him, they're gonna say, ooh, that boy talking to Debo like that. Then to push a little further, when he put Debo flat on his back, now everybody get bold. Now the crackhead can stand over him and get his money. Homeboy can get his chain back. My grandmama gave me that chain. Now Smokey can say, you got knocked the F out, man. See the analogy? When you see a man with power at a time when you used to everybody punking out, you draw power from him. So we see Minister Farrakhan, and we see how he stands up to them, being the elitist Jews, and we draw our power from him. So we can't be punked out of position. At least we shouldn't be. I got you, Peppy. Hold on. We shouldn't be punked out of position. That's my email address, brother. Strength has to be gained from strength. Hey, man, I got to go, y'all. I got to go put some work in on this basketball court, man. Much love to y'all, man. Peace.